Hi, I'm Bill Hardiman, State Senator from the 29th District, which includes Grand Rapids, Kentwood, Cascade, Lowell, Virgins, and Groton Townships. I'm very pleased to have you join us today. This is From Capital to Community. And on this program, we like to talk about issues of great importance to all of us. I'm very pleased to have my guest here today. We're going to talk about something that's extremely important. Thousands of children in Michigan are living without a permanent mom and dad. These children are waiting and hoping for a loving family to step forward and adopt them. This is very important to the children. It's very important to all of us. My guests today are part of an organization whose goal is to help these children. With me today is Mr. Brian DeVos, the Director of Operations for Bethany Christian Services, and Kimberly Offutt, the Michigan Project Open Arms Coordinator. Welcome to both of you.
Thank you.
Thanks. It's great to have you on the program today. Very pleased, and also very pleased with what you're doing. Obviously, Bethany is a fine organization right here in our community, but serving people around the state of Michigan. Mm-hmm. Brian, you want to talk a little bit about your organization and also this program?
That's right. Well, Bethany started in 1944, and we've been around for a number of years basically working with kids, helping kids to find permanent loving families, and that's been the core of what we do for that many years. And we have locations around Michigan in Traverse City, Fremont, Muskegon, Holland, Kalamazoo, Grand Rapids, and near Detroit in Madison Heights. And our goal is to serve children and to find loving families for children. And about a year ago, there was an article in the paper about the need of kids in Michigan who are waiting for families. And these are kids who have come out of foster care and are made what we call permanent wards of the court. They are without permanent families at this point in time and waiting. We have a deep concern in our heart that these kids get into a loving family. Out of that idea, we developed a project called Project Open Arms. Project Open Arms is funded completely by private donors, friends of ours at Bethany that support our work. And we've raised a large amount of money to help us to go out into the church community and encourage the church to embrace these children and to encourage their families to become adoptive parents and take these kids in. We have developed this program and have hired people in each of our offices to begin working with the churches, and we're doing this in association with the Michigan Family Forum, and also are working with some other churches to help us to get this going. These children are in great need of a loving family, and if we don't get to them and find a home for them, they don't have a good chance at fulfilling what they're intended to do here. So we want to work with these kids.
Brian, what a wonderful idea, what a wonderful thing for you to be doing and to be encouraging many others to do, that being adopting children that need a loving home. And what a wonderful way to minister to people. This is something that's pretty close to my heart, and I'll maybe perhaps mention that a little bit later. But first of all, I want to talk with Kim just a little bit. Kim, thanks so much for being here.
Thank you for having us.
Oh, my pleasure. And you're coordinating this effort.
Yes.
How did you come to do that, and why is this such an important issue to you?
Well, me personally, I'm an adoptive mom. I actually have 4 adopted children, and all of them are what we would call special needs kids. And let me explain what the special needs mean, because a lot of people don't understand that. But in the state of Michigan, if you're over the age of 5 and you need an adoptive family, you're considered special needs. If you are a minority, you're considered special needs. If you're a part of a sibling group, you're considered special needs. And just because you're in the foster care system alone, you're considered special needs. And when you think about these kids, there are over 6,000 children right here in the state of Michigan that need adoptive families. My children were a part of that. They needed homes, they needed families, they needed permanency. We can't continue raising kids in foster care. Well, when you think about these kids and you put 2 and 2 together with there being over 10,000 churches in the state of Michigan, just think about that number. If we have one church that would identify one family and support that family in the adoption of just one child, the church can do it alone. That's the heart of Project Open Arms, and that's what we aim.
That's awesome. I've been using that statement myself as I've gone out, and you said it much more clearly, I think, when you mentioned the 6,000 kids needing to be adopted and 10,000 churches. So really, almost you could adopt one child for almost 2 churches and still take care of the whole list of children that need to be adopted. That is so very important, and you know, I'm very thankful. I thank God for the wonderful people who offer their services as foster parents to help a child in a real time of need. But really, the goal is to get them in a permanent setting, like you've done, you and your husband, and Brian, I think you have stepped forward to do that too, which is wonderful. I have a sister. My father and mother separated when I was 14 years old, and I found as an adult that I had another sister out there that was born to my father, and when we made contact, she told me at the time that she had gone into foster care, and she talked about her struggles in getting to permanency, and then she was adopted by a wonderful family. And that's really what helped to put her on the right track, and I'm so thankful. We're friends now with the family, but also, of course, I have my sister again, as well as my other siblings that I grew up with. So it's a very, very important thing that needs to be done. And you're encouraging the church to get more involved. I love that, because why wouldn't we? Why wouldn't we get more involved?
And based on James 1:27, that's what the body of Christ is called to do.
That's
and so
great.
That's
great.
That's awesome.
We also firmly believe that we can, one of our vision for this program is that no child will wait for a family in Michigan. So if there's a child who becomes available for adoption and needs an adaptive plan, in a sense, for their life, we don't want any child in Michigan to wait. We believe we have the resources in the state to do that. We have the families, we have the strength of the church to help us with that. Secondly, we believe a child will thrive the best in a family. And so that's where they learn how to work, how to live, and how to love. That's where it comes from, a family. And so what a better place for them to have that connection and to have that as they grow older. So that's really our vision for these kids. These are important members of our society and important citizens of Michigan.
Absolutely, and what a wonderful thing to know that a child that perhaps was removed from a home because of either neglect or abuse. I mean, those are the 2 reasons.
Yep.
But now, and there's efforts to reunite.
Yep.
But when that's not appropriate, when it's not feasible, when it's not the best for the child, then we want to see that child move into a very permanent situation with a loving family that will help train the child, love the child, so that they can grow up and become good citizens. Like us, right?
Yeah.
That's right.
That's great.
The
That's great.
unfortunate thing is a lot of our kids that come into the foster care system, they're in the system for 2 to 3 years sometimes before they're able to find permanency. And that just can't be. And that's why we need to find families sooner rather than later.
That's good. That's
exactly.
good. Let's talk about those children. I mean, you've started to talk about them, and one issue is that many of them are in foster care way too long. But can you tell us what these children look like? Describe their needs, their sex, age, race, all those demographics.
Well, majority of the kids are between the ages of 8 and 14. So these are school-age children. Okay, of the 6,000, I would say about 70% of them are school age. Also, a majority of those children are African American. Many males as well. And if you can just imagine the trauma of being removed from your family for whatever, abuse, neglect, substance abuse, sexual abuse, I mean, many different things these children have been removed from.